Hello and welcome to the ADHD Guru podcast. My name is Jonathan Carroll. I am an ADHD and executive functioning coach. For more information on me, you can visit my website at adhdguru.com. You can call me at area code 877-398-2343. You can send me an email to Jonathan, that's Jonathan, at adhdefcoach.com. You can follow me on YouTube and at Twitter at ADHD Guru. You can find me on Facebook at ADHD and Executive Functioning Coach. If you're listening to this, the iTunes, Google Play Store, Stitcher Radio, or TuneIn Radio, thank you. And if you would take a moment and leave me some feedback, it's always appreciated. Obviously, good feedback or positive feedback is always good. Constructive feedback is always helpful. So if you take a moment and do that, I'd appreciate it. And I've asked for topic ideas for this podcast. I want this to be as user-friendly as possible. And today's topic comes from Amanda. I hope I am pronouncing this right, Lee, Leigh. She had left me a comment on a video I made on YouTube. And it's really involved with, it sounds like in her situation, she's working a job that, as much as she loves it, can sometimes really push her executive functioning and ADHD skills. So let's call this topic for today is working a job that you don't particularly like. So there's a couple of things I can suggest to Amanda. Amanda had said in her comments that she has a job that's requiring her to stand in one place in a booth for around 10 and a half hours a day. Just reading that alone as a person with ADHD, and I'm an adult with ADHD, I'm already pulling out the remaining non-hairs on my head. So I can only imagine what that does to someone with ADHD. But there are some things that we can do. I think the first thing and most important thing we can do is kind of prepare our self-regulation. So what do I mean by that? I think part of it is that we really work on being mindful of ourselves and looking at different skills and strategies that we can do to help us manage our self-regulation. One thing I used to do, for example, is I would carry a stress ball with me. And I would use the stress ball to kind of help me be self-aware of certain situations and use that to control my stress. So the first thing I would recommend is really kind of finding things like the stress ball for self-regulation, maybe curling your toes, doing things where you're at least moving around in those situations, maybe sitting down and standing up, maybe even, again, the slightest movement is better than none. Amanda says her work can be very, mind-numbing because it sounds like she stands around and there's points where she's not interacting with people for a while. I get that. That's very difficult because some of us ADHD folks are very social. But I think through finding sort of ways of helping us manage our self-regulation, it can really help with that. Identifying those things that help us stay mindful of certain situations. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing I would recommend too is, and I work with a lot of adults on this, is communicating your needs to your boss, communicating your needs to your superior, really kind of sharing what is or isn't a challenge for you. If you're comfortable enough with somebody, you can obviously tell them about your ADHD. If not, maybe say like, look, there's things on this job that are difficult for me. Here's some strategies that I found. Do you have any recommendations for me? Again, really being open to communicating your needs with someone. You'd be surprised sometimes how helpful a boss can be if you would just express it and not necessarily hide it. So my two suggestions, again, is one is really work on your self-regulation. And the second thing is communicate your needs with your boss. So Amanda, I really hope that answers your question or at least gives you some ideas. And if you need anything else, or you or anybody else needs anything, please continue to comment, give me some thoughts, and I'm happy to turn that into sort of a podcast. Again, I want this to be as user-friendly as possible. So with that, let me give you my contact info one more time. I'm Jonathan Carroll, an ADHD and executive functioning coach. You can find me at adhdguru.com. Call me at area code 877-398-2343. Send me an email to Jonathan, that's Jonathan, at adhdefcoach.com. You can find me on YouTube and at Twitter at ADHD Guru. You can find me on Facebook at ADHD and Executive Functioning Coach. And if you're listening to TuneIn, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, or TuneIn, thank you. And if you could leave me some feedback, it'd be great. And we will see you soon. Bye-bye now.